Hi everyone, I'm Summer Watson, and today I will be discussing my research and design project, Building E-Commerce. So why e-commerce? During my undergraduate studies, I had the opportunity to work with many entrepreneurs who were actively involved in bootstraps. Appalachian State actively promotes local businesses and the opportunities that they generate through its Transportation Insight Center for Entrepreneurship, which is evident by Bootstraps, the student entrepreneurship store. Later, I will share with you some statistics of ongoing research that defines e-commerce as a way of the future. And without this, previous business models will more than likely disappear. So now we'll be transitioning into some research and background on e-commerce and what it is in today's society. So what is e-commerce? E-commerce refers to the transactions of goods and services through electronic communications. There are two basic types of e-commerce, business to business and business to consumer. Business to business allows companies to conduct business with their suppliers, distributors, and other partners through electronic networks. Business to consumers allows companies to sell products and services directly to consumers. Business to consumers is the more commonly known type of e-commerce, but business to business is a form that actually dominates e-commerce in terms of revenue. And there is a third type of e-commerce, and that is consumer to consumer, which is one of the earliest transactions. And the best way to explain this could be like an auction website. So, impacts of e-commerce. There are many types of impacts that e-commerce has on various functions of business. And some of those functions are marketing, human resource management, operations, and finance. E-commerce is so much more than marketing or selling a product or service. It significantly impacts all of these above operations or functions within a business. And to start off, I'm going to talk about some of the functions and how e-commerce affects marketing. Marketing strategy of differentiation increasingly effective, easier to reach niche markets online. Product life cycles are shortened. Note the link with the technology distribution. Greater use of digital promotion. Brands and retailers increasingly. Greater use of dynamic pricing. And increased need for localization. And the ability to sell a much wider product range. Next, for human resource management, you see the need for employees to have a broader range of digital skills, workforce planning to support highly seasonal demand, concerns over the working conditions of staff working in e-commerce warehouses, increased uses of automation in e-commerce. Next, for operations, logistics behind large-scale e-commerce platforms are complex, places a greater emphasis on close relationships with key suppliers. Economies of scale are becoming increasingly important, and it is now relatively easy for smaller firms to sell online sophisticated e-commerce software integrated with financial marketing and other systems. It's extremely widely available across the platform. And lastly, with finance, significant investments required to set up an e-commerce platform and to integrate them with other systems. E-commerce is likely to involve greater use of multi-currency transactions, and impact of exchange rate changes more likely to be significant for businesses selling online. So some future trends of e-commerce, here you can see a statistics, 51% of Americans prefer to shop online rather than in store. A figure that jumps to 67% for millennials and 56% for Gen Xers. In return, online sales will rise a percentage of 9.32% per year according to U.S. retail sales impact of e-commerce. As sales figures suggest, retailers should fully embrace e-commerce in order to flourish. And like I stated earlier, those who do not embrace e-commerce will more than likely disappear with these quickly evolving trends. And your average consumer expects an online shopping experience that's quick, easy, and user-friendly that they can access through several different devices. So what is Bootstraps? You've heard me mention Bootstraps multiple times in the previous slides. So Bootstraps provides an entrepreneurial opportunity for Appalachian State students. Entrepreneurs often face an uphill battle when it comes to establishing a consumer base and reaching a target market. This is where Bootstraps becomes very effective because it's a great platform to sell their products. Appalachian State effectively promotes local businesses and the opportunities that they generate through the Transportation Insight Center for Entrepreneurship. So, problem defined. So, what is the issue? What is the problem with the brick and mortar store versus establishing an e-commerce site for Bootstraps? So currently Bootstraps is confined to that brick and mortar store or brick and mortar location with limited hours and sales floor space. So entrepreneurs who work with Bootstraps are losing out on potential to sell their products by not having a lot of availability for customers to shop or learn about their brand. So by creating an e-commerce site, I will be able to help those entrepreneurs gain exposure to potential customers and sell their products. Gaining larger revenue for the entrepreneurs associated with Bootstraps is my number one goal. The purpose of this project is to provide a web presence for entrepreneurs affiliated with App State's entrepreneurship store Bootstraps. I will also aim to attract new entrepreneurs to the e-commerce site and eventually bring them into the brick and mortar store Bootstrap storefront. The overarching goal is to provide a new option for App State's entrepreneurs to reach more customers while aiding in creating a new pipeline for Bootstraps to gain new affiliates. So what is the proposed solution? So there are two options for addressing this opportunity. Do nothing, ignore the opportunity for higher revenue, and continue relying solely on the brick and mortar storefront. Or we can create an e-commerce website for entrepreneurs to gain access to new market segments, which is enabled by the internet and will result in an increased revenue, increased brand awareness, and higher demand. So above are some of our key features, which will be continued on to the next slide, and you can read those at your convenience. But these are some of the features that we will incorporate into the site for Bootstraps. And based on the potential benefits of option 2 and the interest expressed by the sponsors, I strongly advocate for option 2, and I have proceeded with the production of an e-commerce website. So now we'll just review the project prototype, and this is just a kind of a mock prototype of what the site will look like moving forward. And so on the home page, you will find a picture of the brick and mortar store, so consumers, clients can kind of get a feel of, what's going on at the store at Appalachian State University. There are 4 pages total. The home page, which you can access by clicking on the Bootstraps logo, and then you will have Meet the Entrepreneurs, Contact Us, and a shop menu. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, there is a shopping cart. So as consumers add things to their cart, that will appear there in the upper right hand corner in the blue shopping bag. And so the next thing, because there are multiple entrepreneurs within Bootstraps, it is key that we define each one along with their description of his or her business model. And here you will find each entrepreneur, a description of their business, and then also within these pages you will find their products that they offer. And lastly, with the prototype, you will see the shop menu, which will be an array of products offered within the store. There will be no set type of filter here, but clients can also filter this depending on what they are searching for. So once a consumer chooses a product, they will have the opportunity to learn more about that specific entrepreneur within a different page. Here they will also have the opportunity to purchase the product. And kind of lastly, just some associated costs with the project. Here you can see an exhibit of associated costs and an early analysis of the cost for this project. The yearly cost will be $200. I generated the total cost by adding together the reoccurring costs for keeping the website relevant, which consists of the following. Yearly cost for server space, which will be $50. Yearly cost for registered domain name, which is $10. A yearly cost for marketing banners, which is roughly $90. And yearly cost for advertising, which we have associated as $50. So you can notice that the costs were consistent each year and that the first year didn't factor in wages. This is because the project is being created free of direct charge to Bootstraps by myself. And there are no employees to pay for the creation from external research conducted. A reasonable revenue increase that small retailers see from utilizing an e-commerce site is typically about 28%. As the situation currently stands, Bootstraps pulls in approximately $12,000 per school year, which is divided as follows. Entrepreneurs will receive 80%, Bootstraps receives 10%, and the ASU bookstore, where the storefront is hosted, if you will, they will receive 10%. So this means pretty much that each year I can increase the student entrepreneur's revenue by about $2,600 on average. Bootstrap's revenue is $336, and the ASU bookstore's revenue is $336. Because I will operate externally from the Entrepreneurship Club, I may be able to avoid paying percentages to the bookstore, which means entrepreneurs or Bootstraps may pocket the additional $336 of revenue that would have originally went back into the bookstore. So rather impressively, this project will pay for itself in less than 1 year of full operation, and that year it can cover the startup expenses 16.8 times over. And over the 5-year minimum predicted lifespan, the e-commerce site can generate a net profit value of $13,481.15. And that is over a 5-year minimum. So you can just kind of see some numbers that I have threw together, some associated costs that we will factor in, and these can fluctuate. These are just estimated costs for the upcoming year and then also reoccurring years as well. So I just want to say thank you. I feel that I have a solid opportunity to help Bootstraps and the student entrepreneurships by creating an e-commerce site for them to distribute goods. But I must act as soon as possible in order to create this website so that I can begin to expand the consumer base for these young entrepreneurships and encourage more entrepreneurial activity within Appalachian State University. So thanks. I hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully you all might want to join and get on board with the project. So thanks again.